Game of Thrones is wrapping up, like the final season has been filmed. What was it like to say goodbye to your character and to say goodbye to the cast and crew?
It was a very sweet feeling on set, and an opportunity for us just to, I got the feeling we're all just appreciating what the journey we've just been through, and some of those young people as well, and with the bigger parts. It's been so much part of their lives and so many close bonds made that it was really beautiful to be part of that.
The Danishman's blade, it was made of black steel, and its kiss was a terrible thing. The Danishman's wife would sing as she bathed, in a voice that was sweet as
All right, that's enough.
Badger and Ripper Street. You played detectives. What do you like about playing a role like that? Is it something that fascinated you? And did you ever worry about being typecast because you played it like twice?
If you're going to be an actor, then you kind of need to want to play detectives because it's one of the main things, crime drama. So I just took them because they were nice parts, not because I was like, ooh, I want to play a detective. But obviously they're a kind of they're interesting parts to play. I love the Badger one because I'm a big lover of wildlife. And that was based on a real guy in Northumberland. And it was lovely because I was out. It's beautiful country there, so there's a whole combination of things that made it a very lovely job. And Ripper Street was very different type of detective work. And felt more, like it was a wonderful kind of journey into my ancestral past, because I had a great-grandfather who was in East London, came from Ireland, moved over to East London from then. And it was also in Ripper Street, it was the writing, the style of the writing, and also the relationships that we had in it, all the richness of London life then. There's many aspects. The detective thing was just kind of a vehicle for us to be able to tell their story.
And before you were in Game of Thrones, because I think that's the main role you're famous for, you took a bit of a break. What made you decide to come back, or was it this show that made you want to come back?
Yeah, for whatever reason, I hadn't been, in 10 years, I hadn't been on screen, and there was a combination of me just needing a bit of a break from it all, and I'd moved out to the country, to Wales, and bought this old farm. I was been renovating it with some friends, and we set up a little business, and it was going to have to take something really nice to drag me away from that. I'm lucky that I had the freedom to have that time off, because I'd done some singing as well through the acting, which afforded me to be able to relax a bit. But it was kind of by chance that I had kind of spent all my money as well renovating these old buildings that had gone. So I did kind of put out to the universe that the right type of job would be good. And that couldn't have been a better type of job than Game of Thrones, just because of what it is, and it's such a classy, classic, epic job. I never dreamt that was coming in my career. I thought I'd been lucky enough as it was, and that came along. So, yeah, but I still had no idea that it was that good, or gonna, 8 years on, that I'd still be alive. So it's turned out well. If
you could describe season 8 without spoilers, without ruining any contracts or anything, in 3 words, how would you tease maybe the upcoming season?
3 words. Yeah. Epic. Unexpected. I'm struggling with the 3rd word. Awesome.
See, I'm already getting excited now. And is there anything you maybe wished for Bronn, for your character, to happen?
Well, I did have a fantasy, which I keep on talking about now, because you've got to have something to talk about. if you can't talk about actually what does happen, that there's a moment where Daenerys sets eyes on Bronn, and her knees go weak, and she gets rid of Jon Snow. He's like suddenly history, and Bronn, she makes a decent, honest man out of Bronn, and they kind of take the throne together, do all sorts of things on the throne. No, I shouldn't say that. It's just Bronn. It's the effect of the character on me. So that's a kind of wish. Well, is that a wish? It's a little fantasy.
It's a good fantasy.
Which I've shared with you quite openly.
I like it. I mean, it fits into the whole Game of Thrones storyline, so yeah.
I think if he could, he would.
Definitely. And we've got a few questions from our readers. What was it like to film your last scene? Did everybody tear up?
There was some tears, yes, there was. It was emotional that last day. But really, like a celebration, and a lot of going on in the heart. And it's quite something to have spent, even though I didn't have that very big part, to spend 7 or 8 years with those people, and the nature of this job and what it has been. It was quite a thing just to be going in on the last day, and yeah, definitely emotional at the end.
Do you ever watch Game of Thrones episode with like family or friends, and are they hooked on it or anything?
Yeah, definitely. There's a bunch of friends, we get together back home and have Thrones nights, and that's really nice actually. And we kind of sit around and talk about it afterwards, and yeah.
Are you preparing yourself for the last season with like all questions and stuff like that? They will have to wait week by week, They will, and they do try and get stuff out of me, and I just take them off on merry dances and keep them hanging by the thread a little bit. So yeah, it's fun. Yeah. I can imagine. See, this is my main question. Because you played in Loving Vincent, which of course is Dutch history, because it's about Vincent van Gogh. How familiar were you with the work of Vincent van Gogh and his story?
I was slightly familiar, but not deeply familiar, and not deeply appreciative until I started working on that film and started to really appreciate his life and who he was and sort of man he was and the genius and the beauty of his paintings, because I hadn't quite got that, but I did get it through doing the film. Yeah, it's a really unique film. I don't think there'll ever be anything like it, so it's quite an honor to be part of that, because the whole thing it's like one of his paintings.
Of course, it's kind of like a murder mystery, the movie, the way it was made, like what happened. Do you have any theories on that now by having helped make the movie?
I don't have any theories, because it still seems to be a mystery. That's just the way it is.
You mentioned it earlier that you did some singing, and I know Unchained Melody, I believe, was your biggest hit, maybe? Do you still sing?
Well, in the bath often. Actually, I'm always singing. I was brought up in a singing family, so I love all that.
Could you give us a little Unchained Melody, or is that too long ago?
It's too long ago. Don't know what you're talking about. I'm very grateful to that. And it was a bit like being on a Disney ride actually for 2 years. That's how it felt. Sorry, though, I'm not gonna give you a song.
No, that's fine. I just had to try,
Yeah.
It's one of my mom's favorite songs, so I had to.
It's a wonderful old love song, one of the best.
And time goes by so slowly, and time can do so much. Are you still mine?